Today, we're exploring one of the most significant and contentious agreements in the history of exploration and colonialism, the Treaty of Tordesillas. This treaty, brokered by the Catholic Church, divided the newly discovered lands outside Europe between Spain and Portugal, setting the stage for centuries of colonization, conflict, and global power struggles. Our story begins in the late 15th century, a time when European powers were fervently exploring the world in search of new trade routes, wealth, and territories. Christopher Columbus's voyages, sponsored by the Spanish crown, had recently led to the discovery of the Americas in 1492, though he believed he had found a new route to Asia. The discovery of these new lands sparked intense competition between Spain and Portugal, the two leading maritime powers of the time. Both nations had been expanding their influence across the globe, with Portugal focusing on Africa and the Indian Ocean, while Spain had set its sights on the west. The potential for wealth and power from these new territories was enormous, and neither nation wanted to be left out. To prevent conflict and establish clear rules for colonization, both Spain and Portugal turned to Pope Alexander VI, the leader of the Catholic Church, who held significant influence over European monarchs. In 1493, the Pope issued a papal bull, Inter Caetera, which drew an imaginary line down the Atlantic Ocean, granting Spain the rights to all newly discovered lands west of the line and Portugal the rights to those east of it. However, Portugal was not satisfied with this arrangement. The Portuguese crown, under King John II, argued that the line favoured Spain too heavily, leaving Portugal with only a small portion of the new territories. In response, the Spanish and Portuguese crowns entered into negotiations to modify the papal decree, leading to the Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494. The Treaty of Tordesillas moved the line of demarcation 370 leagues west of the Cape Verde Islands, giving Portugal more room to expand its claims in the Atlantic, including parts of what is now Brazil. This adjustment was crucial for Portugal, as it allowed the Portuguese to claim and eventually colonize Brazil when it was officially discovered by Pedro Álvares Cabral in 1500. While the treaty was intended to create a clear division of newly discovered lands, it was based on incomplete knowledge of geography. The line of demarcation cut through regions that were largely unknown to Europeans, leading to future disputes as exploration continued. Nevertheless, the treaty was a pivotal moment in the history of colonization, giving Spain and Portugal a head start in establishing vast empires. For Spain, the Treaty of Tordesillas opened the door to the colonization of most of the Americas. Spanish explorers such as Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro embarked on expeditions that led to the conquest of powerful indigenous empires, including the Aztecs and the Incas. These conquests brought immense wealth to Spain in the form of gold, silver, and other resources, and transformed it into one of the most powerful nations in Europe. Portugal, on the other hand, focused on establishing a network of trade routes and colonies along the coasts of Africa, India, and Asia. The Portuguese Empire became a major player in the spice trade, which was immensely profitable. In the Americas, Portugal's claim to Brazil allowed it to establish a colony that would become one of the largest and most economically significant in the New World. However, the Treaty of Tordesillas was not universally recognized. Other European powers, such as France, England, and the Netherlands, rejected the division of the world by Spain and Portugal and began their own explorations and colonization efforts. This led to centuries of conflict and competition over control of the Americas, Africa, and Asia.